Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 3 a.m. Bag Skate Hockey Podcast. This is episode number 4. It's after the second week of the NHL season. Still very young. Still a lot to be decided this year. We're starting to see a little bit of separation, but we don't know if the teams at the bottom are going to be able to dig themselves out of those holes, or it's still too early to tell all that. But
yeah,
we're just here to talk about some surprises so far, some teams that have been flying out of the gate, and looking forward to some games this weekend. And should be another great week.
quite a few good matchups tonight too.
Oh yeah,
As of recording this, it's about like 1 in the morning. The 3 a.m. bag skate's a lie. It's 1 a.m. but we're recording now, and there's only one game finishing up now, and it looks like San Jose is going to beat Carolina, despite Carolina vastly outshooting them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a crazy situation there.
Unfortunately, I didn't see any of the early goals. I know 2 came on the power play, both from Kane, part of his first period hat trick. But when you've got James Reimer in net, that's just the kind of night you can expect to have sometimes.
Yeah, when he's not making 50 saves against the Panthers, he's letting in 4 on 15 shots. San Jose.
So that's unfortunate, but
yeah. But
they can spare a loss.
Climbing out of the basement, dude. San Jose.
Yep.
What is this? 3 straight? This would be the 3rd straight.
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe they're starting to click here. So
I think so. Who knew that the catalyst would be signing Patty Marleau?
Right?
Who knew that's all it would take?
They needed someone in the room. I think losing Joe Pavelski, not even just his talent, I think just his presence.
Yeah.
Because the Sharks, if nothing else, they have like a long-standing, they have their Joe Thornton. They had their Patty Marleau forever. They had their Joe Pavelski. Like, they were there forever. And then Pavelski left, and I feel like they needed the voice back. And do they have a captain? Have they announced one since Pavelski left?
It's Couture. It's Couture, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Logan Couture. He's another one. Like he's the long-standing Sharks member. So seems like Stella got her groove back. San Jose looks like they're figuring it out, which is pretty good because Carolina is no fucking slouch.
Yeah, no.
Even with Reimer in net, they're not a bad team. So
San Jose is still part of my impressing and depressing segment later on. But
I love the name.
But we'll get to that when we get there. They're definitely the least depressing lately of the 3.
Yeah.
So
turning it around.
Yeah. We're gonna get into some early season standings. Obviously, still a long way to go. But starting off in the Atlantic, you got your top 3. You've got Buffalo in first place right now, followed by Boston and Toronto. Now, I don't know about you.
Things is not like the other.
I expected Boston and Toronto to pretty much be exactly where they are. I'm pretty sure everyone expected that.
Yeah.
I did not expect Buffalo to be in first place.
No. 11 points, 4-0-0 at home, which is impressive because no one wants to be in Buffalo. Wait until it gets cold as shit up there and the lake effect snow's hitting hard, and then you'll see those guys get a little more in the depressed column. But for now, they're getting out of the gate, and they're playing.
We've got to see if it holds up, though, because we've seen this from Buffalo before.
Yeah.
We've seen them come out flying out of the gate, and then it hits November, December, and they just collapse. And
they had that 10-game win streak, and they still missed the playoffs by a mile.
Yeah, so we'll see. Flipping over to the Metro, you got Carolina in first place, followed by Pittsburgh in second.
With that big win tonight over the Colorado Avalanche in overtime. Big win.
And followed by Washington in third. So
tied for third, yeah. Well, with one extra game played, so Pittsburgh has the tiebreaker there.
They also have one more regulation win.
They're 5-2-0 rather than 4-2-2. Yep.
But I expected Carolina and Washington to be towards the top. But Pittsburgh I had missing the playoffs altogether. And with the injuries they've had, I'm amazed that they're still keeping this going. They've, won 4 straight?
I think this was their 4th straight win tonight, yeah.
And they're doing it without Malkin. They're doing it without a bulk of their depth forwards. They've got like pretty much college kids, it feels like, out there.
Yeah.
And testament to them, man. They're getting it done.
Yeah. I want to say, and this seems to happen to the Penguins, where one of the big guns gets hurt and the other one steps up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the dynamic of having Crosby and Malkin. You know, one of them's hurt, the other one just kicks it into a new gear, and they win games when their star players are hurt. It doesn't make sense, but they got that kind of dynamic. So good on Pittsburgh for turning it around.
Yep. And I'm not really gonna get into the wild card because again, it's just so early to even talk about. There's 5 teams in the East right now tied for the second wild card, so not even really worth getting into. We're just going through top 3 at the moment. So over to the Central, Colorado, of course, in first.
Yeah, their first loss tonight, and it was in overtime. So
In
they don't
OT.
have a regulation loss yet. They've got a point in every game this year.
Every game. And I don't see them slowing down. Like, granted, they had their first OT loss, but I still don't see them slowing down, and that's upsetting because they're coming into Florida on Friday. So,
Slow down, Colorado.
Yeah. But
well, McKinnon did get slightly hurt tonight, I will say.
Hornquist gave him a pretty solid hip check, and
he looked shaken. Maybe not seriously injured, but it definitely affected his play.
Yeah.
So let's hope it's not that serious. Maybe for your Panthers, let's hope it's serious for a couple games, but let's hope he doesn't miss significant time.
Yeah, no, definitely. You never want to see a player of his caliber, or any caliber really, take an injury like that. Second place, actually, well, I mean, you got second and third are tied between Nashville and St. Louis. Nashville with the extra regulation win. I'll be honest, I expected St. Louis to fall back, but, I mean, they're over 500. 2 of their losses are in OT, so...
Yeah.
Can't really... I mean, again, it's still early, so it's really hard to tell, because at the moment, Winnipeg is in the first wildcard spot, but they're tied with St. Louis. So...
Yeah. And Winnipeg has the most games played, or they're tied for the most games played in the whole league, too, though, so... And they have no loser points. They're 4-4-0.
Yep.
So when they win, they win. When they lose, they lose.
Yep. And then the Pacific is all flipped over on end, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't.
Edmonton leading the Pacific, followed by Anaheim and Vegas. Vegas, we all expected to be towards the top, so they're not as big as a surprise. But Edmonton and Anaheim, both of them I didn't have making the playoffs.
Me neither.
And
I didn't have either of them there.
And they stormed out of the gates. And didn't Connor McDavid have like 5 points tonight?
Dude.
I think he had a goal and 4 assists.
Yeah, a bad game for Connor McDavid is only having 2 to 3 points. And then you're like, oh, wow, is something wrong with Connor McDavid? He only had a goal and an assist tonight.
Like, they beat Philly 6-3. And he was involved on 4 out of the 6 goals. I'm sorry, 5 out of the 6 goals.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's an absolute joy to watch.
Keep it up. If he can keep it up, if he stays healthy, I think Draisaitl had a huge hand in tonight's game as well. If those two can stay healthy, and now they don't have a ton of depth. It's still their top line doing everything, and their power play doing everything. But shit, more power to them if they can keep doing it. I think you can't, and they have come back a few times this season. The game against the Devils, controversial call on the McDavid goal. Whistle was blown and he still scored, and they let it happen. It was a little weird. I was listening to it at the time, and even the Edmonton announcers were like, I don't know about that one. But you can't keep coming back like that. You can't sustain that. You can get it here and there. So if they can win games 6-3, or score 6 goals a fucking game, then shit.
Yep.
We'll see if they can maintain this pace. It's an impressive one.
Mm-hmm. And second place with Anaheim on the back of John Gibson.
What a monster.
They're doing it, man. I didn't expect them to be this high. Hopefully they can keep this sustained. Hopefully last year it was just because of Randy Carlyle that they just couldn't get out to any kind of a stretch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But 5-2-0 in their first 7. I mean, if you told any Anaheim fan that they were going to start out 5-2-0, they would have called you insane.
Yeah, they wouldn't have agreed. And they beat Buffalo today,
Yep.
which usually you would say, okay, whatever. But considering the start of the season, these two teams are hot, and
Yep.
they came out on top.
So
go Anaheim.
it's shaping up. There's a couple surprises. Hopefully it can continue, and it would be a fun playoff if this is what it ended up being.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously we know there's a lot of season left.
So much season.
We're not even 10% through. So, but we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Then you said you got Vegas rounding that out.
Yeah.
Third.
Vegas, we knew was going to be towards the top. Vegas,
yeah, and I want to mention Vancouver with 3 straight wins.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of coming into their own. At home, they're undefeated, so pretty impressive. Vancouver, young team. Markstrom trying to carry the torch up there, and we'll see. 5 games in, they've won 3 in a row. Started off a little slow, but here they come.
Yeah, and I want to know what's up with early season scheduling, man. Like the distribution of games just doesn't make any sense. Like,
it hurts me.
The Rangers have played 3 games. The Jets have played 8. The Blackhawks have played 4. Yeah, there's a ton that have played 5, and then Washington's played 8. Toronto's played 8.
Yeah. See, with Philly and Chicago, they started overseas.
Yeah.
So you can kind of understand the travel and all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
The goddamn Rangers, man.
Gave them 3 games.
Their 4th game is tomorrow against the Devils, and I guarantee the Devils beat them because they haven't won a game yet this season, and the Rangers, no momentum.
At the same time, though, the Rangers would love to just keep the Devils down while they're in the dumps.
Yeah.
They would love to just come out and stomp them and just kill any glimpse of hope that they have.
Yeah.
So, even though both teams are the Rangers aren't too bad. They're 2-1. Just haven't played enough.
Yeah, they haven't been able to play. They only lost to Edmonton, who's on fire. So I don't feel bad about the Rangers at all in terms of their play or how they look so far this season for the 3 games we've seen them play.
It's tough to say that early on games are must win, but I feel like for Jersey this has to be a must win.
Every game from here. John Hines is going to get the axe.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, because I think he's a good coach, and I think the guys actually like him quite a bit there, but you can't keep him there if he can't make these guys mesh. And I know it's like, it's early in the season. When you're the Devils and you made all those off-season acquisitions, you got the number 1 overall pick. Does Jack Hughes have a point yet?
Let's find out.
I don't think he does. And Kakko has his 1 goal against Edmonton. And it's like, man, you can't even fathom what it must feel like in the locker room for those guys. All a bunch of new guys, a lot of excitement. Their preseason, they looked insanely good. Offensively, they looked really good.
Nope, no points for Jack Hughes.
Yeah, and I will say this, Corey Schneider, he's had a couple bad games, but he played extremely well in a couple of those, and they just did nothing for him. They did nothing for him.
Yep.
So.
PK Subban with 14 penalty minutes, though.
Ooh, bad boy.
All right, moving on.
See how that works.
Get into a nice new segment I like to call Impressing and Depressing.
I like that.
We're going to get into the teams that we feel are impressing right out the gate. Just exceeding expectations, flying out, just looked like damn near unstoppable. And then we'll get into the teams that have stumbled and dug themselves a hole, and we'll see if they can either dig themselves out or just dig it even deeper.
Yeah.
But starting with the impressing, we mentioned them. We mentioned all of them pretty much. But Edmonton, starting out, what an impressive start for the Oilers. I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl have just come out and dominated lines. Like I said, 5 points tonight for Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Like, that's absurd.
He's going to hit like 150 this year. It's crazy.
He keeps that kind of pace, man, and God, what a great player. What a talent to watch.
Yeah.
Next team, Buffalo.
Can I mention something about the Edmonton start?
Yeah.
James, the real deal, Neil, set the record for goals in the first 6 games in Edmonton Oilers franchise history.
Suck it, Gretzky.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
That's pretty
With
crazy.
all the dude Gretzky, fucking you name it. Mark Messier, Yari Curry, Paul Coffey, like all these players that could have easily put up 6 goals in the first 6. He holds the record. James Neal. Surprising.
Oh, God bless.
And they have the second most goals for in the league, which is pretty impressive for Edmonton considering last year.
Yeah.
But yes, move on.
No worries. Next impressing team, Buffalo. But
Agreed.
Like I said, we've seen it before though. They've impressed early on. They're running deep with their lines. They're getting contributions from pretty much everybody. And who's their rookie that they've been playing? That he's been scoring a ton for them. I think he's actually their points leader.
I've genuinely not been able to catch a single Sabres game, whether it be radio or TV. I haven't. They just quietly.
Okay, he's not their point leader, but he's their goal leader, Victor Olofsson.
Oh yeah, he had a hell of a night the other night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get him, Victor.
Third in points, second in goals. I mean, when you have players like that aren't expected to do much when they come in, and now they're lighting up the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows how long they can keep this going? To me, it's going to depend on their goaltenders.
Yeah, Carter Hutton's been playing really well, and so is what is it?
Olmark.
Olmark. Yeah, he's been playing really well as well.
Carter Hutton's 4-0. I mean,
let's go.
Goals against are like 175.
That's impressive this day and age.
Yeah, he's killing it. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they can keep it up.
He did start off hot last year too. I remember. So
we've seen it before. So we'll gotta see if they can maintain it.
As a New Yorker, and I don't care for Buffalo, I'm actually rooting for them. They've been depressed long enough.
Yeah.
So impressing. Let's put them in that category for now.
And then my third team that are impressing is, of course, Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they lost tonight, but it's not for lack of trying. They had like almost 40 shots, and Martin Jones of all goalies at the moment standing on his head. I mean, that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
But they're what, 5-1-0 or something?
Yes, I believe they are.
Or
6-1-0.
6-1-0. Oh, great. Even better.
And after this, they'd be 6-2-0.
Yeah.
This is their 8th game. Yeah. Very impressive.
Yep.
Their goals for and against before tonight was they had a +10 differential. So you're outscoring other teams this early in the season by 10. That's pretty damn good.
Yep. And now, unfortunately, we have to get into the depressing of the NHL so far. And
can I add a dark horse to the impressing?
Yeah.
Yotes.
Oh, the Yotes.
The Yotes, although they have not, the record doesn't reflect it well. They're 2-2-1, which isn't terrible starting off the season, but they have progressively gotten better every game. I could say. And then the one game that they lost to Boston. They played well enough to win that game, and they dropped it 1-0 to a team like Boston.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed with Arizona.
They've got a +2 differential right now. So despite the 2-2-1 record, they're still outscoring opponents.
Yep. So just look for them. Look for them to do some shit here coming up. They're still figuring out their goaltending situation as well. Splitting time with Kemper and Antti Ranta, who's coming back from various injuries.
Yeah.
So it might take him a little bit to get back into the game shape, but look for Arizona to rise the ranks.
Yep, they've only played 5, so still got plenty of season left.
Get them, Yotes.
Get them, Yotes. I love that. I predicted them to make the playoffs, so I want to see it.
Let's go.
Now, depressing. Starting off with, we'll go with the least to the most depressing. So, least depressing of the 3 I have is San Jose. Because
they're on the upswing.
Because they're on the upswing. They've won 3 straight. And Patty Marleau is back. They've got that voice in the locker room again that they basically lost, we felt, with Pavelski.
Mm-hmm.
So early on, they looked to be in rough shape, but still plenty of season left. If any of the teams can get out of the hole that they've dug early, it's going to be San Jose.
Yeah, they have the firepower to do that.
Um,
And with Evander Kane being off suspension, and he's clearly shown what he can produce, especially tonight, what he can produce when he's allowed on the ice.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it just needs to stay clean. He can be a little bit of a prick on the ice. I've seen it a ton of times. But
he can play to back it up, though, and God bless him.
Mm-hmm. And so the last two are going to be pretty depressing, but I feel like Jersey has been less depressing.
How do you figure that?
They've played less.
Yeah, right.
I guess that's it. But I mean, minus 16 goal differential.
Highest in the league.
They've blown multiple leads. They blew a lead to Edmonton. They blew a 4-1 lead to Winnipeg, and they blew a 4-1 lead to Florida.
Yeah.
That's you can't let that happen.
No, they're the opposite of Edmonton. Like Edmonton keeps coming back. New Jersey's finding ways to lose.
Yeah. It's brutal in New Jersey right now.
I feel bad for Devils fans, but I don't because fuck the Devils.
And then the most depressing I feel has been so far the Dallas Stars. What an absolute train wreck over in Dallas right now. I don't know what the issue is. They've lost 4 straight. They're
0 at home.
0 at home, minus 11 differential.
Lost to the Blue Jackets tonight. That's tough. That's tough sledding, and they aren't missing any key components.
Nope.
There's no major injuries there, right? And some of their players are playing very impressively, but the rest, you know what they are, Joey? They're fucking horseshit. So they need to turn that around somehow.
Absolutely.
You get Pavelski in the offseason. Rope Hintz is playing well. You have Heiskanen really coming into his own. Yep. What the fuck is going on?
When your leading points getter has 5 in 7 games, that's just not going to do it. It's not going to get it done.
A major ouchie. It makes me wonder, and I don't know if they could do this, if they would consider getting rid of a Jamie Benn or Radulov. If this continues to downtrend, do you think they offload someone to try to get something going here?
I don't even know if that would fix anything, because I feel like as soon as they would deal one of those guys away, they would start going off. And
good for them, but get something back because eventually you have to abandon ship. They've played 8 games.
Yeah,
they're 1-6-1.
Yep.
0 at home. That's brutal. And the one game they won, I think, was in overtime.
Might have been. I don't recall.
I think they won in overtime. And,
I mean, just look at some of their top key contributors on this team. You've got Sagan with 3 points in 7 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. Radulov has 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. Jamie Benn also with 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. You bring in Pavelski as a free agent, supposed to be lighting it up for you guys. No goals, 1 assist through 7 games.
Man.
Cogliano, 0 goals, 1 assist.
Corey Perry started tonight for the first time.
Did he?
I think Corey Perry was in the lineup tonight, which obviously didn't have much of an effect. I don't know if he scored, but yeah.
And then Klingberg was a huge point getter the last couple of years. 1 assist, 0 goals. It's
brutal. Pavelski had his first goal tonight, and it was with 5 seconds left in the fucking game. It was with 5 seconds left to make it 3-2, and Heiskanen had the other one. So Heiskanen's playing okay. Pavelski gets his first. Maybe the monkey's off the back. He can start. I don't know. I don't know what you do if you're Dallas. I don't think you can stay the course. You have to shake something up. You have to change something. Goaltender, I don't know. Go with Dobby in that. I don't know. You have to do something. And those are your 3 depressing ones?
And those are my 3 depressing, yep.
Just because you have to say it, Minnesota's depressing.
Yeah, but we all kind of expected them
We
to be
expected them not
depressing.
to be very well. I think Zuccarello's hurt. God bless my boy Zooks. They play Toronto tonight, so you knew they were gonna get housed. The only win they have is against Ottawa.
Yeah.
And that being said, Ottawa is kind of depressing, but they beat Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Bless them.
But what's funny is that last year they also beat Tampa Bay early on. It was like 7-1. They beat them last year.
It's the ultimate trap game, and I think it was old Nemesnikov. He got traded up to Ottawa.
Yep.
He scores 2 against his former team in Tampa Bay before
Yep.
he went to the Rangers. He was in Tampa, so good on him.
Yep.
Go Vladdy Daddy. I hope he gets 1,000,000 points up there. I love the way he plays. He just did not fit in with the Rangers, unfortunately. So
Yeah. But that's impressing and depressing.
Yeah.
Say that 3 times fast.
Impressing and depressing, impressing and depressing, impressing and depressing.
All right, big guy.
Yeah.
Then just show me up like that. And,
All right.
Just want to get into some games to look forward to this weekend. 3 of them are on Saturday, but one of them is on Friday. So the first one being on Friday, Carolina and Anaheim. We talked about both. They're both having fantastic starts to the year. It's in Anaheim, so that should be a solid matchup.
Should be good. And this is Friday?
Friday night, yep.
Okay.
And then Saturday we've got Boston and Toronto. Always a classic, original 6. See each other in the playoffs year after year. Sick of each other, hate each other.
Yeah.
So that'll be a solid game. Saturday we also have got Colorado and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they're going to need a win. They need to keep their momentum going. Had a rough start, but have seemed to be crawling back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Colorado, of course, looking to be the favorites already coming out of the West. And then my last game on Saturday, Vegas and Pittsburgh.
That should be interesting. Yeah.
You got Fleury's return to Pittsburgh, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Battle of 2 teams that have been doing relatively well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I didn't see any other games that were really like super stood out. But
it's good choices.
Those look like the best to me. So if you're going to be paying attention, Saturday's going to be a good day.
Yeah. I got a good one for today, technically, or Thursday, coming up here, October 17th. Lightning Bruins will be a decent one.
I thought about that one too.
They kind of have a rivalry going. They've met in the conference finals. They had to remember the signs that they had out front, the bear.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was like like making fun of Lightning fans and how there's no Lightning fans and vice versa. They went back and forth a little bit. It was kind of funny. And then what's the other one I saw? Predators Coyotes, I think, is actually going to be a pretty entertaining one.
Yep.
Those are the types of games I like to tune into on the radio while I'm at work, and they're surprisingly entertaining. Like they go back and forth. It turns into a goaltending duel. I like the way the Coyotes play because they have a lot of speed and they have a lot of depth. And the Predators are kind of the same way, so that's an interesting matchup. And I'm looking forward to that one tomorrow as well. Those are the 2 games I'm probably going to listen to at work tomorrow.
Nice.
And I'm just going to skip Rangers Devils because I know the Devils are gonna win somehow, and I'm going to just feel terrible about myself.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Keep them winless.
Thanks, Joey. I hope your boys beat the Colorado Avalanche.
I know they won't.
Believe in yourself.
Let's just call it what it is. And for Colorado, it's a trap game, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like we have the talent to be able to beat them, but we're nowhere near on the same playing level as Colorado right now.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see. It should be a good game. If we get out to a slow... The thing with the Panthers this year has been we get out to an okay start, and then usually towards the end of the first and then throughout the second period, they kind of like get lackadaisical, and they let in goals that they shouldn't. They let in chances against either Bobrovsky or Montembeault that they shouldn't. And then in the third, they're playing catch-up. And although they've been great, they've been forcing OT when they shouldn't be in the game. Coming back against Jersey, being down 4-1 and then winning 6-4.
Yeah.
But against a team like Colorado, you can't do that.
No, Grubauer's been playing really well.
Yeah, so we've got to hope that we get out to a good start. We avoid the lull that we usually get into in the second, and then just keep pressing in the third like we have been. If we can do that, if we can play a full 60, then we'll put up a good fight against them. But if we don't, then they're just going to skate all over us.
Yeah.
So
Yep, they have that ability to just fucking they make you feel bad early, and then they just...
yeah, that first line is absurd.
They smother you, and then they get one in, and then you're like, okay. Well, then they get a second one in, and it's still there's still 12 minutes left in the first, and it's just like, fuck, how do we get out of here? I feel like that's their tactic. They just swarm you and smother you, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's too hard to climb back. So,
yep.
I wanted to mention Tortorella had a skin cancer growth removed from his forehead.
Yes, he did. I did see that.
My goodness, Torts. I love Torts.
Yeah, you can't hate Torts.
People give him shit. Oh, he's just a lucky coach, or his tactics or this. Fuck off. Tortorella is one of the greatest coaches that the sport has seen. He's a proven coach. He's won at multiple levels. John Tortorella, though he's a character, and though he may give the media some shit every now and then, a lot of it is warranted shit, if you ask me. Just don't poke the bear with Torts, and you don't get it. Like, that's all I say. And any man that skips the All-Star game to tend to his sick dog is fucking going to heaven. And Tortorella, you're going to heaven.
I was gonna say that was probably the moment you realized you loved him, was when he said no to coaching the All-Star game to take care of his sick dog.
And before that, when he asked Larry Brooks if he'd ever been in a fight. That made me fall in love with Torts in a hurry, too. You ever been to a fight, Brooksy? Yeah. So it's Tortorella. I hope he can bounce back, and I'm sure he can. He's John Tortorella. He's made of fucking steel, and I love him. I love the speech he gave after they were down in the Tampa Bay series, the one they swept. They were down after that first period. He just goes in the locker room, gives that like Herb Brooks-esque speech, and fires the fucking boys up.
Yeah.
And when he's fired up, you better be fired up too.
Yeah.
It's like that situation. So go Torts. I like him. Love him or hate him. I like him.
Speaking of fighting, though, you did tweet out that you're looking for someone in a cage match.
I want to fight someone in a cage. For charity, of course. I don't want to just do it for fun.
Yeah, of
Actually,
course.
I do want to do it for fun, but let's make money while doing it.
Yeah, you fly me out there, and I'll get in there with you.
Let's fight in a cage.
But I don't really have anything else to add for this week. It's been a pretty standard week. There hasn't been any kind of controversies or big hits that we can discuss or suspensions or anything like that. So
I will say, last year at this time, I felt like there was like 5 or 6 questionable hits already. So maybe the message is getting across.
Maybe
the NHL has finally found like a medium of like, hey guys, don't fucking do this, or we're gonna scrap you for the first 10 games of your season, and then you'll never get back.
Yeah.
So I think the game looks incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Every game I've listened to outside of like the shellackings has been entertaining. Every game I've watched, I've not wanted to look away. The game is it's so fast. The offense is incredible. The defensive plays, the game's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm very impressed with
the old heads that are yearning for the days of old where there were giant open ice hits getting guys killed and fights every other shift.
I miss those days, but at the same time, I will take high quality skill speed hockey.
Yeah, the games is the best it's ever been.
Mix in some tough stuff every now and then, but not to the fact where it hurts guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anybody get
Though I will say I do miss goalie v goalie line brawls.
Yes,
those days are kind of dead.
I don't think they're gone forever. I think you might get one or two, maybe one a year, but they're definitely not as common.
Yeah, it's definitely not in the days like Patty Waugh when he used to get pissed off. He was looking for anything and anyone.
Patty Waugh's a lunatic. I love it.
You kind of
just
have to
skate
be.
out to the middle. Play would be going, and he'd be at center ice for some reason. He's fucking incredible.
Didn't he take a penalty because he was deking people at center ice?
I think he did a spinorama on Gretzky. He just fucking pulled the spinorama. They're like, you can't do that. You can't. Huh?
Oh, so good. What a legend.
They don't make them like they used to. There's a lot of characters in the game. There are a lot of characters, and I think they're the right type of characters. A lot of people, I think there needs to be a little more personality out there. You get a lot of cookie cutter interviews. You get a lot of cookie cutter responses.
Yeah.
Hockey guy, reaction. Real cliche answers, but you get a little more personality out there, and the game's perfect for me.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Have some fun out there.
That's what it's all about.
And the money.
Yeah, of course.
And the money! Alright.
But I don't even really have much more to add.
Me neither. We'll see how the growing pains get done. We get a few more games under the belt. We'll have a little bit more to talk about.
Yep.
Teams shaping up. Like you said, there's some teams that have only played 3, 4, 5 games. You can't.
Yep.
It's such a small sample size.
So small.
So let's see how the season plays out. It's incredible. I would highly suggest listening to a game for some people. I know people love to watch shit now. Everybody's got video on their phone. Something about radio just gets me going. I don't know what it is. They paint a picture. They're really good at it.
Oh, so yeah. That's honestly my favorite part is you're just cruising down the road and you've got the broadcaster in your radio saying you've got this team going left to right across your radio, this team going right to left, and then it's non-stop talking. The play-by-play that you get from radio is nothing compared to like what you see on TV. Yeah. Like TV, you'll get some depending on the play-by-play guy you're listening to, but on the radio, man, they're spitting it out for the full 60, and it's so great to listen to.
It's impressive, very impressive.
They make it so that you can visually see in your head what's happening. And I think that's part of the fun for me when I'm listening to radios is like you can kind of paint it yourself in your mind what it would look like if you were watching it as it was happening, but just by listening to it, and you let your imagination run wild.
Yeah. To manipulate emotion and excitement through just describing the play and your tone of voice and everything like that, that's a skill right there. Yeah. And I want to mention the Tampa Bay radio announcer. Every time Tampa scores, you'd think they won the fucking cup. He loses his mind. And the guys at work and I, we listen to it on the big stereo. And whenever Tampa Bay scores, oh my God, we love it. He just loses his shit. It could be 6-1 the other team, and he just goes nuts. And something about that excitement, it just brings me back to a kid, So I love it.
You should listen to one of the Panthers radios at some point.
I do like him.
Doug Lagans is incredible at his job.
I do like him. There's very few radio broadcasts that I dislike, but there are a lot of TV broadcasts that I dislike. Oh, yeah. I don't like Jack Edwards. I can't listen to Jack Edwards anymore. God bless him. Rick Jeanneret is a legend of the game, but I can't listen to him. But there's a few on TV I don't care to hear, or I'll mute it.
Yeah, the last few seasons I've had a hard time listening to. I mean, the guy's a legend, but Denny Potvin is just like losing his mind. Guys, you could tell like he would have one too many cocktails before the broadcast went live. Like he just didn't care.
Got to get into working shape.
But
that being said, also in Tampa they would have Espo. He would be the analyst, and all he would do is in the middle of the play, you would just hear him stammer in with "Oh no, shoot, you gotta shoot, you gotta shoot." Like he would just randomly butt in while the other guy's losing his shit over goals and stuff. It's such an interesting dynamic, but unfortunately, Espo hasn't been on there this year, so they did replace him with a I can't remember her name, but she's incredible. She does a very good job there. I'd have to look it up. But it's the guy that loses his mind and the girl in Tampa Bay now, and they're very good.
Yep, but don't have much more to say this week. We'll get another week under the belt, like you said, and hopefully we'll get some more talking points. Hopefully something exciting happens. Some goon makes some ridiculous hit, And
please do something nasty so we can talk about it.
but don't get anyone hurt.
Yes, everybody has to be fine. But
everyone has to be okay.
All right.
I think that's it for this week. Thanks again, everyone, for watching and sticking around, listening to us talk bullshit.
Definitely.
We love to do it. So if you like what you've seen, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share with people who you'd feel would be interested in a podcast like this. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can make sure you're not missing any of our weekly uploads. I know it's only once a week, but
yeah, get our weekly shitty takes on hockey.
And yeah, that's pretty much all we got for you this time, guys. But we'll see you in the next episode, and here's to another great week of hockey.
Yes, sir. Enjoy it.
Peace out.
Peace.